Hi folks, this is our third attempt to have a live stream that isn't laggy. So I will now wait until a couple of people are coming online and you let me know in the live chat if video works now. So I reduced the resolution and everything. I still have to find the Goldilocks settings for my low connection internet here in the Alps. So I don't have a fast connection, and through OBS and YouTube I'm trying to find the good connection. I thought I had it 1 hour ago where I made some testing with some friends that were connected, but apparently it was only a short test of 1-2 minutes, and apparently the video after some time starts to have issues video streaming. So now I will try to see if you see me. Let me know now if everything works fine, if there is any lag of any kind, because you have to have a pleasant experience during the live chat and not see constant freeze, particularly in audio. It's annoying. So let me know now if the video is working for you, if there is any lag or freezing before we start to talk about rumors. So just give us again 5 minutes to talk unofficially now about the quality of the live stream, if it works, and then in 5 minutes, if it works, we can kick off talking about the many rumors, particularly Canon, Nikon, like Sigma, and also some Sony hints at the very end. So carry on. Okay, let me know. There was one guy in the chat before I canceled the live stream. There was one guy telling me that Canon actually posted something, Canon Middle Asia posted something about a new cine camera. So if that guy is listening, please send me the link to that teaser, because I heard from one of my sources there's a cine camera coming, and I just don't have yet the specs of this camera. Actually, I will check now if the source did tell me something. No, not yet. Okay. You're ready, yeah. Just give us 2-3 minutes to give the people time to notice the live stream, come online, and also to be sure that the video is working, okay? Because also before it looked like it was working, after 2 minutes the video quality degraded. So we have to hope the streaming holds here. Okay, thanks. Thanks Sartip for sending me everything on Instagram. I will check it after the live stream. But this confirms that indeed there's at least 1, maybe 2 Canon cameras coming around mid-September. Okay, don't ask any questions as of now, because I will not answer them. Right now we are only here waiting 2 more minutes before we start the live stream to see that the video works. Let me know if there's any kind of lag of anything. It is helpful so that I know if the settings are right. Let's see how many are online right now. About 43. So a bit of patience before we start to talk about rumors. I would love to do more live streams in future, but we have to nail the settings, and also the connection has to work here from the Alps. I'm very close to, we still don't have fiber optics, and I'm very close to the mountain, so I'm working hard to find the right settings so that live streams are working. No lags, anything. So if anybody has an issue, please let me know. That is helpful to know that yeah, everything works. 1 more minute before we start to talk about rumors, okay? The couple of things, just private note. So if I would love to do more live streams in the future, because it's easier for me. Instead of doing a whole video and then I make mistakes, then I upload it and edit it, upload it, live stream goes faster. So when I have some rumors, being to do live stream for me is easier. But as of now, the connection was very bad. But now I sorted out with the provider here that I have some more upload speed. And so the hope is that today the live stream works, and if it works, we might can do this every week, talking about rumors and getting and sharing our opinions about new gear, and hopefully also then in future invite people that are better than me in talking about the new gear and so forth. I will also quickly hint about something Sony, but very quickly because I'm still working on the rumors. And so if today live stream works, then next week I will reuse the same settings, be a bit more professional, tease you about the live stream then at a certain hour, and then we start us up without that pointless chatter that I'm making now for 5 minutes. But like I told you before, this is the third time we start the live stream today in the hope that the settings finally work and that you don't see me lagging, freezing, and okay, so everything works. Okay, 68 people online. So the main reason why I want to do a live stream today is that there are plenty of rumors coming now. So we are entering the hot announcement time. So September, October, November, we are getting a ton of stuff. And now basically every day I'm getting rumors, and it's time to talk about those rumors. So what I will do now is try in 5 minutes to make a quick roundup of the rumors I got the past 24 hours. And then after those 5 minutes, we chat together and share the opinions about what's coming, not coming, or if you like what's coming, and so forth. But basically, the very quick and dirty info here is that Canon will have a big announcement event, Nikon will have a big announcement event, Leica will have a big announcement event in September, while Sony will have an announcement 1-2 months later. So they are not going to announce the A7 this month, but it really looks like October, November is going to be very hot for a big camera announcement from Sony, which I think is the Sony A7 But let's kick off with the info regarding the new Canon rumors that were shared today. So I'm going to switch over to the browser here on Safari, just to let you know. I will position everything so that it's clear to see what's coming. Basically, a German YouTuber named Jan Wegener. So definitely subscribe to his channel and follow what he has to say. He's very good in sharing rumors about Canon. And he actually surprisingly told us yesterday that the Canon R6 Mark III is coming in mid-September. So he thinks it's coming around mid-September, so 15th of September or shortly before that, we will get the Canon R6 Mark III. And this is a very important rumor because this is a very hot selling camera for Canon. It's also put some pressure on Sony to release the A7 IV. And this camera was rumored to be announced back in May, was delayed. And it's a similar situation like the Sony A7 V, which was rumored to be coming in late spring, early summer, and was delayed. And so finally we're getting the Canon R6 Mark III. Usually Jan Wegener knows his stuff, so he can be wrong, of course, like every rumor guy, but he's not making up rumors and he's trying to be consistent. And according to him, the Canon R6 Mark III will not have a fully or partially stacked sensor. So this is unlike the previous rumors we heard. And why, according to him, why Canon is doing this is because partially stacked sensors still have some small drop in image quality, particularly dynamic range, when it comes, when you try to shoot high quality images. There's simply a step back compared to the traditional sensor. So apparently the R6 Mark III will have a normal sensor around 30 megapixel resolution. So that's the info he shared. No 8K camera. This is going to be a 4K 120p camera. Similar body like the R6III, but with fully articulating screen. Still no top LCD. So expect a similar body, small improvements with the new sensor and much improved autofocus AI algorithm, and also the video quality will be better. So the R6 Mark III seems to be coming within the next 2 weeks, probably in 2 weeks from now. And this is a very important news. Now let's jump over to the next news. Canon rumors says that also the R7 Mark II has been spotted in the wild, and basically he says he saw an image of this camera and he cannot share the image of the camera. So what you see now is just an AI generated image or fake edited image of the R7 Mark II, sorry, and it's coming in 4-6 months from now, which means that this camera will be announced, likely, in my opinion, February at the CP Plus show that kicks off in Yokohama. End of February, we can likely expect the R7 Mark II, and also in that case, the camera will have not a partially or fully stacked sensor. Keep in mind also partially and fully stacked sensor more expensive, so you have better image quality, they're less expensive, partially stacked sensor, fully stacked sensor make more sense on sports cameras or cameras focused on sports or video. Okay, moving on, just to keep you up to date with the news I got in the past 24 hours. Let's see what's coming next. Matt Granger, check out his YouTube channel, shared the first impression of the new Laowa 200mm 2.0 lens, and this is a very interesting lens because it's one of the few autofocus tele lenses we're getting from Chinese manufacturers. So as of now, we were used to see lenses that are primarily prime lenses that are wide angle or normal lenses or 85, but this is going to be 200mm lenses. Here are also the specs you can read that Matt Granger shared, and the lens is coming in October for the Sony Nikon Zr EF mount. And basically, to give you a quick overview of what he said, check out his video, of course. He said the image quality is not as good, so it's close, but not as good as the Sigma 200mm lens, but the pricing will be much lower. He didn't share the price. I suspect it will be below $2,000. So already Sigma 200mm 2.0 for $3,003, it's a lot of money, but still affordable to compare to what we got in the past. So from other 200mm 2.0 lenses like the Nikon, the Laowa will be much cheaper. Of course, not as good in terms of build quality, image quality, and also autofocus performance is not as good as the Sigma, but this one at least in future with final firmware can be improved. So I think it's going to be a very interesting lens, and I suspect that next year more manufacturers like Viltrox and Laowa and so forth will make tele lenses, and also next year we will get at least 4 zoom lenses for the Sony E-mount system from Chinese manufacturer, which is kind of big news. Okay, also because the zoom lenses are the biggest sellers on the lens market. So most people buy zooms and not primes. I do mostly use primes, but I'm a dinosaur. Moving on. Viltrox announced the 56mm 1.2 1 hour ago. It's an aps-c lens, so check it out. This is a nice lens again from Viltrox. Definitely something cool. It will sell definitely well, also because the pricing is under €600 and dollars. Something else. As you know, I leaked the image of the Sigma 135 1.4, and I have some news here to share for you that are very important. So back to myself. The Sigma 135 1.4 is very good for cine shooting too, because it has 0 focus breathing. So according to the sources that are my sources of testing lens, it's a superb lens. So this is going to have extremely great bokeh, high quality, high image quality in the center. So it's not too soft or in any way. It's really soft when you need it and sharp when you need it. It's amazing lens, and also for cine working, it's great. I still don't have the pricing of the lens, but we will know it on September 9th when the lens will be announced. And the good news also is that the 200mm 3.5 6.3 is coming also on September 9th. So this is a travel zoom from Sigma that is under 600 grams and about the size of the Canon 24 240mm lens. So still compact, perfect if you want to have everything in one lens. So shooting a landscape, tele, prime, and also some selfies, you can do it. There is also the 35 1.2 second generation coming on September 9th. So this is also going to be a nice lens. And then basically we're done with Sigma. They're not going to announce any more photography lens this year, according to what I got from my sources. Let's check out the last couple of news, and then we chat together about all that stuff and also talk about Sony, what to expect from Sony, okay? Let's move on. Check it out. What is next? I have to go back on Safari. Close this. As you know, interesting tidbit about ON Digital. ON Digital is a private company, so they don't share official info like Sony and others that are listed on the as a company, shareholder company. This is the info that has been published by Nikkei Financial, and basically, while ON Digital is managing to increase their sales, so their revenue is increasing. 2023 it was 29 billion, and 2024 it was 36 billion, so quite a jump forward, so plus 20%. The operating profit did increase, so it's did decrease to minus 1.2 million compared to the 0.2 billion, so they're losing money right now. The hope is that this is the case because they're hiring people, investing R&D, and we are getting some more cameras and lenses from them, but I'm really not sure. Camera shipments worldwide at mirrorlessrumors.com, you can see the chart. 2024, Canon did beat Sony with 44% compared to the 29%. This is units, so this is not in terms of value. It's the number of cameras sold. Then you see Nikon, Fujifilm, Panasonic. Everybody, more or less everybody, increased the sales in terms of number, except of ON Digital that had a small decrease. So that's again not a great news for ON Digital. The last news of today is that Nikon is becoming a tiny bit more Italian. So I am happy because I'm half Italian. Basically the rumor is that Luxottica, which is an Italian company, will buy more stake into Nikon to go up to 20%. Of course, their interest is not really cameras, but more the optics technology from Nikon, because that's where Luxottica is really strong with brands like Ray-Ban. So we might get finally a Nikon ZF Italian edition. That would be nice. Okay, no, just joking. Okay, folks, that was it regarding the news that I wanted to share. I made a separate video where I go more into the details of the rumors of the Canon R6 Mark III, Canon R7 Mark II, the Nikon Zr, which is coming September 10. I still don't have the specs, hope to get them soon. I also got rumors about a Canon Zr camera, something like FX3 competitor. So just like the Nikon Zr will be Sony FX3 competitor, but I'm still working on it, and I hope in the next days on mirrorlessrumors.com and my other websites, and also to this YouTube channel, if the news really is big, then I will post something there and you can hear about it. Okay, now we'll take your questions, but before I take your questions, just something that I forgot. Sony, because everybody is waiting about Sony, and it's very annoying. Understand that there are no news, but I don't do clickbait news, which means I don't do fake rumors to keep you excited. I only talk about Sony when I think I know stuff, okay? And the one thing I can tell you now, wait, I'm going to resize my screen so that I can see your comments. One thing I can tell you right now is there's definitely going to be a big announcement from Sony in October, November. So that's 100% confirmed to sources. Also, historically, we know that Sony will also usually announce cameras there, but there's no camera on the horizon in September. So September is for Canon, Nikon, Leica with the Leica M11 V. Also about that I forgot to talk about, but maybe I will talk about it when I take your questions. Sony, you will have to wait a bit more. So Sony will have a major camera announcement October, November. That's for sure. I think it's going to be the Sony a7 IV. Sony did also register a camera already in China, so we know there is a camera coming. There is no secret here. And I think it's a Sony a7 IV. The question is if it's lukewarm update similar to the Sony a1 II over the Sony a1, and unlike many predicted, Sony a1 II actually did sell quite hot. Sony a7 V at worst has the same new body like the Sony a1 II without, of course, the dials on the left. that's expected with a new AI tech and new autofocus system. At worst, it will have the same sensor, which I hope it doesn't have. Not because it's not a good sensor, but I think this is a camera that has to sell big numbers for the next 3 years. And seeing that Nikon, Panasonic, so forth are using partially stacked sensor to have a fast readout and fast performance, I think Sony shouldn't stay behind those companies. That's my opinion, but I still don't have a final info. Okay, now I will take your questions. So I will take some time now to scroll back because I see many questions. And now let's see what you are saying here. A few months ago, okay, wait, I will first try to fix the chat overlay so that it's visible. Okay, now you see it. No, the pancake lens rumor is turned out to be wrong. There is no pancake lens coming from Sony. There's a 100mm 2.8 macro lens, GM lens coming from Sony for sure. So that's confirmed. That's one of the next lenses coming. I don't have confirmation yet on other Sony lenses coming, except a rumor about one fast prime and one other telephoto lens, but I don't have the specs yet. R6, if it comes in September, when it's going to be able to, you can pre-order it as up. The same day of the announcement, you will be able to pre-order a Canon R6 Mark III. I don't know when it will ship, but maybe it depends also from how many people will pre-order it, if it's going to be a popular camera or not, but I don't have info about this. So Canon Africa and Canon Middle East are teasing a cinema camera on their Instagram pages. So again, thanks for this tip. I will now, after this live stream, go there. You can also go there to check it out. I heard there's a cinema camera coming from Canon that is compact and extremely good. So the source that tested this camera, and he didn't want to share any images and specs, understandably, but he told me this is a seriously good cine camera. So Sony has to watch out because probably it's going to outperform the FX3. This means Sony has to push also the release of the FX3 II very soon if they want to still be at the same level or improve over that new Canon cinema camera that's coming. Yeah, we'll read now your comments. So when you see the pauses, it's because that I'm reading. Yep, I saw this. Okay, so I am also a bit surprised about the so the Canon cinema camera. I'm sure it's coming because a source that I know has tested it. So that is coming September the 9th. That's fine. I'm surprised to hear that the R6 Mark III is coming probably the week after. So we will have two big camera announcements from Canon in 1 week. If Jan Wegener, that source that usually is spot on, is right. So that's not coming through my sources, but let's see. Will the optical performance of the Sigma 20-200 be better than that of the 28-200? I heard the sources, two sources testing that lens. One said the optical performance is really average, so it's not a lens that he will keep. The other source actually is happy with it, said like, yeah, it's not the best lens, but it's very useful, but they didn't tell me if it's as good, worse, or better than the Tamron. So that I cannot say. I will ask them. So maybe they can answer me, then we'll let you know. What happened to the DJI mirrorless you mentioned? That was an interesting rumor because the source that told me about this is 100% reliable, and basically he's working for Japanese manufacturer, and basically it was on a high level of Japanese companies. There was a discussion that DJI might release a full frame mirrorless, that they might do it, and they were afraid of this. Now, really could be that the Japanese manufacturers were wrong, or maybe they got wind about DJI testing some prototype and then they didn't release it. I hope they will do it, because I think in general I hope Chinese manufacturer will also go soon making the next step, which means making cameras and not only lenses. So if Viltrox, TT Artisan, 7 Artisan start to make cameras with their own mounts, that would be nice from a competition point of view. One of the rumors I got said that the 1.400 would be updated. One rumor said it would become a 1.500 GM2 gem, so 100-500 gem, so not a 100-400 GM2. But this is still not confirmed, so I'm not really sure about this. I'm scrolling down, sorry again, there are so many comments. Do you personally believe the A7 IV will have a partially stacked sensor? So, one thing I think I never told you about is that one of the trusted sources from Sony told me that Sony has decided to go a more conservative approach for the next 1-2 years, which means release less products and not really as innovative, like for example the A9 III that had a global shutter and something like this. I think we saw this on the Sony RX1R3, where basically this is a nice camera, so let's put aside the pricing. It's a nice camera, but it basically reuses pieces we already knew of, and so they didn't add any new tech inside, like they didn't make a special viewfinder with high resolution that still is compact or whatever. So they just took parts together and made this. Same for the Sony FX2, and I heard that this is the path we can expect the next 12 months. So my fear is that the Sony A7 IV will be a very small evolution with nice updates, of course, like the improved autofocus AI, new body and so forth, but not like crazy new design sensor and something like this. So I hope it's more than I expect, but I expect little as of now. No info about the FX6 or S1H successor of this for yet. No news. FX3 II, from what I heard, is well into final development. So I think that with or after the Sony A7 IV launch, we are getting the Sony FX3 II. At this point, I expect it early next year, if they don't surprise us. It was actually scheduled to be announced in September, from what I heard many months ago, and now it has been pushed forward. So, but I didn't get an update in the past 2 months. But I heard only that the expected announcement of September got delayed. That's all I know. But it means anyway that it's well into finished development. The Canon T also looks like there's a 85mm. I didn't know. Okay, we'll check it out after this live stream. I didn't hear about who could buy Arri. I don't know if Sony or others would buy Arri, because they have some patents, they have some tech, so maybe Sony could be a candidate. Particularly after Nikon acquired Red, would make sense that Canon or Sony would try to acquire as much knowledge possible and patents possible to counteract, but I don't know if this is going to happen. Yeah, so I got a confirmation on big release, that of course, and from past rumors I got from trusted sources, I make 1 + 1, I think it's the Sony A7 V. But they actually didn't tell me Sony A7 V November. They told me the Sony A7 V is coming this year, so it must be that. Let's see. Any news on the A7R6? Historically speaking, if you look at the pattern of releases, the A7R6 should be announced next year, and it will be nice to see if they finally switch to a new sensor. The 61 megapixel sensor is now in use for many years on 2 different generations, so they might do the jump. We know that Sony did actually make a 100 megapixel full frame sensor, but I don't know if this is going to be used on the A7R6. Also keep in mind that 100 megapixel cramped onto full frame sensor, diffraction kicks in earlier. There are also some issues, and I don't know if that's worth going 100 megapixel. Would make definitely some nice clickbait title, but if it's useful, I don't know. I have the Sony A7R V with 60 megapixel. I don't miss resolution on this camera. I do often crop in because I'm a hiker, so I go as light as possible with a light lens. I don't take big telephoto zooms with me, so it's useful to crop in. That's why I love 60 megapixel, but 100 megapixel I don't think it makes that much of a difference. So let's see. But you say Nikon and Canon feel pressure to open their mounts to... From what I heard, they're actually fine now. So Canon opened the mount for aps-c because they don't have time to develop new aps-c lenses, so they told Sigma go ahead, but they didn't say yes to full frame. So to me, this really signs that both Nikon and particularly Canon, they want to be very conservative. A funny story I heard 1 year ago is that Sony actually is unhappy now that so many Chinese manufacturers are making full frame lenses for the E-mount system, but of course they were born with an open mount, so they cannot go back. So probably Canon and Nikon want to avoid having the same issue where they're getting flooded by cheap Chinese high quality lenses that can rival the best in class they are making. So I don't think they will fully open full frame to Chinese manufacturers. That's my opinion. From what I heard, the Nikon Zr uses the same Z6 III sensor in a very compact FX3 alike body. So that's what I heard, but I still didn't get an image of this. I don't have a full confirmation. So hopefully trusted sources. I know a source that actually saw the camera, but he is not sharing the info, but hopefully somebody else will do it. No rumor about any Sony aps-c camera yet, sorry, 0.00000. About this, Fuji rumors will share rumors in the foreseeable future because we talked about it, but I'm not going to share anything, of course, because this is his job. But check out with Fuji rumors, but Fuji will do many things right also next year. I have no info about the pricing of the 135 1.4 as of yet, but I'm sure it will be still affordable for what it is. So, but no idea. No, there is no new A7C camera coming anytime soon. So don't worry, it's a great camera, keep it. I think that's the problem with if it uses the same sensor, then we have again that cropped 4K 60p, which I think by now you cannot really make a camera with cropped 4K 60p again. But again, they did this Sony FX2 with that same sensor, and so of course in our mind where we discuss about future products, we go like, of course they have to put in a new sensor, but that's not how companies' mind work. I have no info about that. I told them 1,000 times through this YouTube channel, not directly, but I'm sure they got a message that they should have some proper film simulations with a proper heritage, recognizable. So that's why I'm appealing always Sony, but also Canon, Nikon to have Kodak film profiles on the JPEGs in camera, but this is not going to happen as of yet. You know, true. I love 28mm, so I'm not a 35mm shooter. I shoot 40mm. And 28 is a great focal length. I agree with you. I have no idea why Sony is not doing this. Let's move on to other questions. E7S4. Man, I really haven't heard that blink about the E7S4. And my fear is that the FX2 definitely killed it. So now we have an FX camera with viewfinder, so there's little room left for the E7S4. I still think there is market for it. There's also a legacy, a history. I think people will love it, but damn, sorry, I didn't hear anything about this one. I hope they will make a surprise and surprise us all by launching an A7S IV. But yeah, 20 to 200 millimeters. So that world's first 20 to 200 millimeter lens. Nobody ever did something like this. The source that actually is testing a Nikon Zr only told me that it's indeed coming September 10, and he didn't want to tell me anything about the Nikon Zr. Maybe after the live stream I will beg him to just give me some tidbits that I can post on mirrorlessrumors.com so that I can tell you something. But he said absolutely a nice camera. He's also testing at the same time the Canon cinema camera, and about the Canon cinema cameras he's super excited. So, the option number one about the Sony a7 IV, if it comes in October, November, is that it will keep the same 33 megapixel sensor. That would be very disappointing in my opinion, but that's the most conservative scenario, and seeing what Sony has done in the past could be likely. I don't think 44 megapixel would make sense, while I think 33 megapixel partially stacked would make a lot of sense, because people buying the a7 IV are not the people looking for the 1/3 of a dynamic stop mode. They're not the extreme pixel peepers. They are more, and they definitely need more speed. So a 33 megapixel partially stacked sensor would, in my opinion, fit more the kind of audience that wants to buy this camera. But that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment system if you agree or disagree. More questions. What red tag do you believe is coming to Nikon Zr? I think the codec, some kind of red codec, some kind of compression and so forth that gives you high dynamic range, nice colors, so that you can edit easily and still don't have files that are too big. That's what I expect from the Nikon Zr. So about the FX3, I told you before that I heard that the FX3 II was actually scheduled to be announced in September, but then it got delayed. That was the last info I got 2.5 months ago. So I have no update yet when it's coming. Okay, last questions. From what I heard from the one source that tested both cameras, the Canon Cine camera is actually super great. So in his opinion, the Canon Cine camera is actually more interesting than the Nikon Zr. And this is what he said. So anyway, next week, so September 9th, we're getting the Canon Cine camera, and it's going to be very interesting release. We are on September the 10th, we are getting Nikon Zr camera, and both cameras will put heavy pressure on Sony FX cameras. So I hope that Sony will announce the FX3 II quickly as up the launch of those cameras. But knowing Sony, they will take that time. So it's not in our mind as potential customers and buyers and people excited about new gear. Things should be logical and fast, but this is not how Japanese companies generally are thinking. It's more the Chinese way of thinking to make things fast and quick. If you think about DJI and so forth, that's why a DJI full frame mirrorless would be a game changer, because they would definitely put in some tech that Japanese don't want to put inside, and this would create quite a good pressure on Canon, Nikon, Sony to keep innovating, also Fujifilm and so forth. Again, always when you ask me about gear and rumors, if a camera is good enough now for your work, buy it, because there's no point waiting if you need it now. And if it's good enough, of course, maybe you think, maybe I save some bucks. If the new camera gets announced, I can buy this camera for a lower price, something like this. Okay, if you can wait for a couple of weeks. But if the camera is good enough, the FX3 is still a great camera. It does everything you need. And the FX32 will be better here and there, but not like dramatically better. So my suggestion is always focus on your real needs, and when you are focused on your real needs, you get easily an answer if this is the camera you want to buy or not to buy. That's it. Don't rely on rumors, never. Yeah, Sony would shoot itself in the foot if they would keep the same sensor on the E7 V. That's my fear. But let's see. Oh, philosophical questions about cameras. So there's one thing I learned about so-called futurists, people that want to predict what's coming 3-5 years. They are always wrong. So if you ask me now about what to expect cameras in 3-5 years, I will be mostly wrong. Even if I know a lot, I will be mostly wrong, because there's a lot of stuff that is unexpected. For example, today I got a press release that will be published tomorrow, so it's not an official news I can post today. So I'm not going into detail about something small, but a manufacturer will do an AI-powered camera. So not a camera with some AI tech inside like Sony and others are saying they have, but seriously AI like ChatGPT powered camera. And so maybe the future is that you have a camera with AI, ChatGPT or whatever inside that can quickly on the fly edit your image or at the resolution just by talking into the camera. So maybe that's going to happen, but we really don't know as of yet. I personally think that in general the market is changing. People still want to buy cameras, particularly younger generation, but they're looking more at design and usability. So most people, also the people I know in my real life, when they ask me about cameras, what they really want is not 60 or 100 megapixel resolution or 15 or 25 frames per second. What they want is a camera that is easy to use, easy to carry around, and also looks good. So what I'm sure about is that every manufacturer should do more beautiful cameras, easy to use cameras. Doubt this will be something that really Canon, Nikon, and Sony will do. I see this more from Chinese manufacturers. So I think in 3-4 years from now we will have Viltrox, maybe DJI, or other Chinese manufacturer making cameras, so mirrorless cameras, so the classic system cameras with very easy to use interface, easy connection, beautiful design. Just think of the Hasselblad X2D2. If you ever use the Hasselblad X2D, it has a stunning easy usability that I would love to see on every full frame aps-c camera out there, where you can simply click on an icon to quickly change your most important settings without scrolling forever. Technical description, that's not what normal people want. So if what Hasselblad does trickles down to aps-c and full frame, that would be good news in my opinion. Yeah, I expect the A7 V to have brake capture. I don't have any news about the RX108. I got an anonymous tip like 1-2 months ago that indeed it was in development, but it is an anonymous tip, so it doesn't count. Yeah, 9 more days to know what the Nikon Zr is. So how long was this live stream now? Just to see how much time is left. Let's see. We can still go on for 5 minutes. If you have any questions, just let me know again if the video quality is okay, was okay all the time, and if also the audio quality was okay, because if we finally nail down that the live stream works, I can do this maybe even every week, and then we can chat together and share more info, and I can learn from you, from your feedback, how to improve the rumor work or how to work. Like today you asked some nice questions that I didn't even think about, and now after the live stream I will contact my sources and ask those questions, so maybe I get some answer about this. For the Nikon, no, I didn't hear a price range about the Cine camera from Canon and Nikon. just expect it to be between $2,000 $3,000 if it's full frame, under three, so around $3,000. What's my favorite current camera for video? I'm using a Sony a7R5 as a camera that does it all. Like I do the live stream with the Sony a7R5, mainly because I'm more photo-oriented guy than video. I was born in the documentary video world, so I made a couple of documentaries that for the Italian, for the German television, till 12 years ago. Then 12 years ago something personal happened, I had to stop. Particular condition that forced me to stop traveling, so I cannot do this kind of work, and in 12 years I did more photography work, and it was for that the Sony a7R5 is really great. What I don't like about the Sony a7R5 is that I miss a bit of soul. I would love to own a beautiful camera, an easy to carry camera, a compact camera. I was thinking about the Sigma BF, but people that I know that use it were actually not happy with it, so I don't know. I would love to own a camera like, similar to the Sigma BF, something like this, but the problem with the Sigma BF, it doesn't have viewfinder, and I really use the viewfinder a lot. So a Sigma BF with viewfinder would be useful, or something else. Of course, there's the Sony a7C lineup, but I don't like the design of those cameras. So yeah. More questions? Audio is lagging. Okay, that's a surprise. LX100 news I don't have. What I have is I talked to some Lumix sources, so great Lumix sources, and they said there is no imminent announcement from Panasonic. So don't expect anything from Panasonic as of cameras yet in the next 1-2 months. Wait, I'm a bit lost. Do you think the Sony is going to... Not really. So the Sony a1II, I expect most of the features on the Sony a1II to be trickled down on the Sony a7V, like I told you, the body, the content, that digital content, now I forgot the name, sorry, I have a blackout. You know, the certification that this content is authentic, the same AI features, autofocus performance. That is what I expect on the Sony a7V, and nothing really new, not from what I heard. Audio's going in and out. That's not great. So I wasn't expecting this. I will, after this live stream, of course, try to re-listen to this live stream, see if there were some issues. If there were some issues, then I have to try to figure out better settings to give you a better quality. No new word about the Sony cameras. I got some rumors earlier this year about the FX6 successor, FX9 successor, but nothing happened, and I really wonder what's going on at Sony. But in general, the sources told me that are reliable, and they are sources since many years that told me that Sony has slowed down the pace of releases. So I suspect they reworked the whole roadmap, cut off some products, and so not really a nice thing to tell you, but that's the opposite of being clickbait. So if you go on other so-called rumor sites, they will tell you this is coming, they're working this is. I tell you what I think is serious, and you cannot expect that much from Sony, but I will keep trying to push Sony to innovate, because they have the tech. They could do many more cameras. They could also do more beautiful cameras, so I push them to have some more proper classic design cameras, because that would sell among people. Also have more affordable camera for the younger generation. Fujifilm gets it. Sony still is too conservative. They're too big of a company, probably to, and then there may be some managers in the wrong position, and then the message doesn't get through. But that's just a speculation. I hope to be wrong, and hope that, I know Sony is always listening and watching these videos. I hope that if I repeat myself and they see your feedback, that they will understand it and be a bit less fearful. It's a good time again to make cameras now that there is some interest from the younger generation. So give us Kodak film simulations, give us some Minolta design cameras, and also more affordable cameras. There is no perfect camera. I'll just chop it. Okay. There is no perfect camera. There are because your needs and my needs always do change constantly, and also the sense of what you want. Of course, there's. I'm not talking about gear acquisition syndrome, which I don't have. I use very little gear. Actually, I only have the Sony a7R5, GM1 camera from Panasonic, the very compact one, and 3 lenses that I use for the Sony E-mount system. I love to test out gear, but I'm not into the gear acquisition syndrome, luckily, so I spend little money. What would be my perfect camera is something that is as light as possible, that connects to a smartphone without me having to think about it or hoping that the connection holds, which still is an issue. So something that is easy to use so that I can quickly share an image, and still I don't have this on a Sony camera, and something that's beautiful to carry around. I think beauty is important. Any film cameras on the way, and I have no info about this. All I can tell you, and you will see this probably next year, is that I'm building my own camera. So I'm building my own giant camera. That's a project I'm working on intensely now, because I got one big support from a famous person and a second upcoming support from another famous person for this project. So I'm doing actually an art project where I'm building my own camera that creates another kind of photography, and not digging into details, but I'm actually very into the art world, something I really never showed on this channel because first of now I keep them separated, and it's also difficult to really talk about this on YouTube. I see no point yet, maybe in future I will. There was a patent about the Sigma 800mm lens. There were a couple of patents about telephoto primes and zooms from Sigma. Maybe it's coming next year, but I don't know. And Sony, if Sony rolls back the FPS limit, I will always insist on that. We should all push on Sony removing that limit, because it's completely pointless. Yeah, there's a 100mm 2.8 GM macro coming from Sony. That's confirmed. Don't know when the announcement will happen. Maybe this month also, because when I told you that there would be a big announcement October, November, that's about the camera. About lenses, the 100mm macro might be even announced this month, but I didn't get yet a confirmation. Yes, I have the Mamiya 7. Actually, I have two Mamiya 7, a black one and the one in sort of silver grayish, dark grayish. Love them. Still shoot sometimes with them when I have something important to shoot. I shoot film because I love the idea that I have the chemical negative of this moment. It's just something magical, but it's still a lot of hassle to develop it. I do my own development. Like a friend of mine is a very expert in this, and then we sometimes meet and develop the stuff, but I still have the Mamiya 7, lovely camera. Never going to sell it. Sony should manufacture something like 600mm lens to compete with the Nikon. Nikon is doing great job when it comes to telephoto primes and zooms. Same goes for Canon, like the 300mm 2.8 is a great lens from Canon. And Sony has a lot to do here. I think they're working on it. So about that, I think they're reacting. Yeah, I heard some monochrome camera rumor that I still have to post. I will post it on 40rumors.com very soon. So stay tuned on 40rumors.com because I heard about the monochrome camera coming from one of the two Micro Four Thirds companies. Still don't know if it's reliable, but I heard something about it. This is the only rumor I got about a future possible monochrome camera. I'm considering buying for the sensor. If I would ever switch to Z mount, that's such a personal question. Depends on what you need, what you look. So I like the Nikon Z8, the Nikon ZF. I really like those cameras. Don't really like the lenses, and I don't like the design of the lens. I still think Sony has an edge when it comes to the lens design. So for lenses, I would still stay on the E-mount system as of now. So it's really such a personal question. I don't know what you want to achieve, what you need. I cannot really answer. Z6III is definitely a nice camera. There are some nice Z-mount lenses, but as of now, it never felt from a very personal need point of view the need to switch over to the Nikon. Not even with the ZF, which I think is a beautiful camera. But no, as of now, no. Yeah, of course, I posted about this. There's a Sony photographer that walked into the court of the US Open, but he says they told him to go inside, and others say no. I have no idea, but I think what's really bad about that moment was a reaction from the the Russian tennis player Medvedev. He's a very nice guy, so. But his reaction was really totally crazy. But I understand there was a match point, so he was stressed. So that was more impressive for me. What we should expect from Sony in the future. So there will be a new generation of Sony sensors for sure coming, because partially stack sensors will be more and more implemented. So I can see more new partially stacked sensor coming in the next 1-2 years. That's the one thing I can say. So maybe those sensors will be find their way in future Sony alpha bodies. From a software point of view, I don't expect much. I don't see Sony making a revolution. I would love them to go the Hasselblad X2D2 way. So that sort of menu, they will not do it. I cannot see a revolution when it comes to software. They will improve their AI tech and so forth, but no. I still today, when I connect the Sony A7R5 to my smartphone, lose connection when transferring images. Still today. So they don't even get this right. So I don't know. And I know this is not only a Sony issue. It's nearly every manufacturer, but so annoying. So I don't see them doing any revolution. Sony has to realize that Nikon and Canon cooked up. Yes, I told this Sony many times. I mean through my channel and through the website. Not directly, I don't have any connection directly with managers. They also cannot have it with me, from what I heard. That's something I heard from someone that knows Sony managers. But I told them many times that they should push, but from what I heard in general, when it comes to Sony, Canon, and Nikon, they are more afraid of the Chinese competition than they're of the competition between themselves. So there is no tendency between Japanese manufacturers to think as to other Japanese manufacturers as a sort of enemy, or they just try to. The game is more like incremental. No, one pushes a tiny bit, the other one year after goes matches it or pushes. When it comes to Japanese strategy, that's the strategy between Fujifilm, Sony, Canon, Lumix, and so forth. So they are all really not afraid of each other, because they know that this is the game, and important is that they all together grow together. And their real fear, in my opinion, is Chinese manufacturer, particularly now when it comes to lenses. But in future, I think in 3-5 years from now, there will be Chinese mirrorless E-mount full frame aps-c lenses, and then they will feel real fear. That's my opinion. 8K 60p camera from whom? The FX3 II, I don't think so. Probably from Nikon or Canon. The new cameras coming on September 9th and September 10th, maybe. Yeah, it happened in the past. It happened when, like one time I got the rumor 5, 6, 7 years ago about Sony cameras having 2 slots and both slots being compatible for Type A and SD card. And I was like, nah, is it really possible? So I was measuring the sizes of both cards and thinking, how can they fit it all in one slot? And at the end, the rumor turned out to be true, but I remember that I really was like, sure, but yeah. Years ago, they tried. The first years, many companies tried somehow. Now no more. Now also it's pointless because the leaks are always happening through different channels. With every time different, there is no super clear pattern, and even if I would stop today to post rumors, it would still the rumors and leaks would still be happening. Somebody else would post them, so there's no stopping. I think for them, actually knowing me for 15 years, it make at least I'm predictable. At least they know who I am, and I think some companies also know that I can be trusted. So like sometimes when I get some gossips or some stuff that I think is not relevant, I don't post it. So I hope that, I think they're now used to me, and they know they cannot really stop me. Yeah, thank you. Okay, now we stop, okay, because now I chatted longer than expected. I'm happy that this was basically the first live stream without any major issue in terms of video and audio quality. So maybe we will do more of that in the future. Also, I think if that works, I will also try to invite people so that you don't see only my not so interesting face, but some more beautiful face and some more interesting person. And then we can chat together and share some more information. But now it's the wrap up here is that now it's a nice time to follow the Rumor website and also this channel, because there are many announcements happening. We just learned now during the live stream that Canon will announce the Cine camera on September the 9th. September the 10th, Nikon will announce their ZR Cine camera. Both are compact cameras to compete with the FX3. I told you that one of the sources that saw both cameras say that Canon is absolutely astonishing. So that's all I can share as of now. Leica M11V is coming with a new electronic viewfinder inside, and Sony will announce a new camera November. That's 100% sure. I just guess it's a Sony A7 V, and I think my guess will be right. But about that, hopefully I will get some more info in the next couple of days and weeks. So stay tuned, definitely. I thank you all for being here. That was nice to not have any issue. That is great. Great to see you and so many people. Great to have the feedback. So let's do it again, hopefully with some nice leaks about the future cameras. Next week we will get a ton of cameras, so let's discuss the new Canon and Nikon and Leica cameras coming next week. I don't know if the Leica will also be announced next week, but Canon and Nikon for sure. Let's discuss them, see how good they are, and then let's hope Sony will wake up from the sleep and also announce the A7 V and possibly also FX3 too.